Hey Jeff, in this video I'm going to show you 3 things that you can do today to help bring in more customers to your business. My name is Seleni McGregor and I actually just work with business owners across the state of Utah. I'm actually up in Utah County myself, but I put together this quick custom video for you about your online presence and specifically how you stack up against your competition. I'm sure at this point you're most likely sitting there asking yourself, why would you be doing this and what's the catch? Well, fair question. What I have found is that most local business owners are just too busy actually running their business. They're swamped with payroll, helping customers, answering questions, dealing with employees, and just staying on top of jobs that many times learning how to leverage the internet to benefit their company just gets buried underneath all of the other to-dos. And let's be real, half the time the only reason you haven't hired somebody yet is because you don't know who to trust or know who is truly an expert. So that is exactly why I make videos like this. I have found that by giving people an easy, free attack plan of things that they can actually do to impact their business for free, it has resulted in some of those local business owners still raising their hands and saying, hey, I like you, Seleni, can you please just handle this for me? So if by the end of this video you liked what you've heard and can see that I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve that can help your business, then shoot me a message back and we can chat. Or if at the end of this video you simply want to take this free attack plan that I gave to you and do it yourself, that totally works for me too. Now, let's cover the 3 things that are going to set your company above your competition. First is content, second, citations, and third, backlinks. And before we keep going into content here, I'm just going to hurry and get my face out of the way right down here. That way we've got a full screen. Okay, so first up is content. So since Google isn't a human, it doesn't just know what you do. It needs to be told through your content. So content is basically going to be anything here that you can see on your homepage that is highlighted. So this can be text, it can be images, what's behind the images, what they're saved as. All of that can be considered content here. Now to give you an example of what I'm talking about with the images, if we come here and do a right click and do a save as, I can see here that it's just saved as like some letters and numbers. Specifically, we can go down for a little more and just saved as numbers here. Now, this would be a great way instead to be able to leverage high volume keywords, including those here in your detailed image descriptions. Again, all of these things, the text and everything else that I just mentioned, are things that Google bots can read and basically get an idea of what is this business, what services are they offering, what areas are they targeting, and that is all going to position you in the search ranking. So the goal is having unique and authoritative content, and enough of it to be able to add in the right keywords and content and phrases, that people are going to be searching for in Google in order for somebody to find the services that you offer. Most owners know that they need content, but what they don't know is that in order to rank number 1 on Google for swimming pool builders, the average content count is 1,500 to 2,400 words on your homepage. Again, while making sure it contains the right keywords and phrases that your customers are actually searching for. So I went ahead and copied and pasted all your content here from your homepage and plugged it into my tool, and I see that you're sitting around 246 words here on your homepage. Now, this would be a great way, again, like I said, to increase your content count here using the right keywords and phrases that people are searching for. That way you're optimized when people are actually searching for those things. Now we're actually going to change screens over here, and we're going to jump over here into one of my tools. This is called Ahrefs. It's a really cool tool. Essentially, it gives me behind the scene details that Google is looking at when it comes to ranking a site. So I can get a pretty good idea of what is working well for you and your competition. So I've actually got cutting edge pools pulled open here. They're currently ranking number 1 right now in St. George for Utah, or for pool builders for a specific key term that I plugged in here. And so I'm actually going to go ahead and do a quick comparison here. Right off the bat, I can see how many keywords their website is being found for and roughly what type of traffic that they're driving in. Now, if I jump specifically into their keywords here, I can see we can see the exact keyword that they're ranking the highest for right now. Again, which is this pool builders, St. George, Utah. This is being searched 70 times every single month. The tool here is showing position 2, but when I searched it in Google, currently they're showing number 1. Google does like to change rankings quite often, but I see their volume, it's 70 people every single month searching that. Other key terms that are similar to that too, just to show you, we've got St. George pool builders also being searched 70 times every month. This one's the one that we just barely went over. We've got pool builders, St. George, Utah, 40 times per month. Another one at 40 times per month, St. George, Utah pool builders, and so on. Just to give you an idea of just pool building alone of that specific service, not let alone any other like service or maintenance or cleaning or repairs or anything like that, any additional things that way. This is just building alone. What would happen to your business if you were able to get part of that traffic or even just a percentage of that traffic? Now, if we dive back over here into your site in the same tool, I can get the exact same overview. I can see your website is being found for about 11 keywords and how much traffic roughly that's driving in every single month. Now let's dive into your keywords and we can see what you're being found for. Let me just go ahead and do this so it makes it a little bit easier. You can see here that all of your key terms here that are being pulled open you are being found for a lot of St. George specific terms, which is great. You can see the volumes that are pulling in here as well. Now let's go into like specific pool building. It looks like right off the bat, I'm not seeing anything specific to pool building. I do see pool service here, searched 30 times every month. However, you guys are showing in the 34th position, which means you're on the 3rd page of Google for that. In fact, if you type in or take a look at any of these positionings here, looks like any of them are from the 2nd to 3rd. I mean, even the 9th page of Google here. But we want to pay specific attention to the St. George term since that's location specific, since your service area ideal customers would be in St. George area, right? And so, but looking at your key terms, again, we've got tropical pools, St. George, being searched 20 times per month. However, you're landing like almost 3rd page of Google here. So just a really great plug to be able to optimize for these keywords and help increase your positionings here so that you're showing up when people are searching in these different kinds of terms and using the right key terms, again, that you're wanting to be found for with your competition. Now we're going to pivot over here and go to Google actually, and I've got typed in pool builders St. George, Utah up here. Again, one of those key terms that had the 70 volume every single month that people are searching for. Right off the bat, we do see the ads section. And here's the thing about ads. Ads can work, but they can also be a huge money pit if your foundation isn't dialed in, like your website, or if customers are using an ad blocker. So just being really careful to not burn through your money here on Google Ads unless you know for sure that your website is going to convert. Now we're actually going to jump down here below the ads. We're going to get to this area. This is the coveted map section. This area has a lot to do with the second important thing that we're going to talk about, which is citations. And you're probably sitting there asking yourself, okay, what is a citation and why do they matter? Well, great questions. So this is called the Google Map Pack. I'm sure you've seen this or even used this section and possibly even thought to yourself, how in the world can I get my business up here in the top 3? Well, great question. And that is about what I'm going to show you here. So to get to the top 3, the number one thing that Google looks at is a thing called citations. So they're super simple. It's just your business name, address, and phone number listed on as many online directories like these. But they need to match your Google listing exactly. Having citations like this helps Google to be able to verify you and then give relevance to your local business. So in order to push yourself here up in the top 3 spots, you just need to help increase your citation game. When you get more citations than your competitor, especially from authoritative and industry-specific websites, your credibility boosts, you gain more trust from Google, and therefore pushes you above your competition. Now you might be asking yourself, okay, great, but how do I actually do that? Well, there are paid tools like WhiteSpark or BrightLocal that'll tell us the exact directory that your competition is listed on, and then we can go out and match those. But of course, we don't want to just match them. We want to dominate them. And what we've seen is with most pool building companies that are ranked to the top, we usually see around 200 to 350 citations. So if you're pushed down below that, maybe 2nd or 3rd page, you might only have 30 or 40 citations. So we not only need to go get those that'll match your top competitors, but then we need to beat them out online. Now, let's talk about the last thing that we're going to go over today, which is backlinks, or often called link juice. This 3rd pillar is really going to help you dominate here on Google. So again, when we've got Pool Builder St. George, Utah plugged in, below the map pack, we get down into this area. So this is called the organics listing section here. You can see that your site is not ranking as number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, right here on the 1st page of Google. Now, of course, this is where we want to be, ideal in the top 3 spots, because Google statistics have shown that the top 3 businesses on Google get about 75% of the clicks, meaning that most of your potential customers are choosing between the first 3 results and are never making it down to the 2nd or 3rd page to find your listing. So in order to get here, you need to beat out your competition in every aspect. You need authority. So how do you get authority? Well, this is where the backlinks come into play. Simply put, a backlink is when one website links to another website online. The easiest way to think about this is thinking about it kind of like a popularity contest back in high school. You want the coolest, most popular kid to be recommending you. So in this popularity contest, the business with the most relevant link juice or authority wins. And I do say relevant because not all backlinks are created equal. So you guys are swimming pool builders, right? Well, you wouldn't want to just have a backlink from an ice cream shop linking back to you because you don't make ice cream. Although that would be tasty. it'd be kind of useless to you. But if you had a backlink from like a local blog or industry specific site linking back to you, that would be much more effective. Now again, let's jump over here again into my tool, the Ahrefs. Let's go back into the overview. I can see here that you guys have 151 backlinks being pointed back to your website. That's great. It's a great start. It's just not dominant. So if we go over to your competitors over here though, I can see that they have 202 backlinks being pointed back to their websites, and some from very strong, relevant sources. Again, how do we get these? Well, here with my tool Ahrefs, I can actually go in and see the exact links that are being forwarded over to their website. We can go out and get those same ones, if not better ones, to be able to beat them. And again, this is very beatable in time. Getting you here to the top of Google, it is not magic. It's just a tried and true method. And I have shown you that exact method today. So again, closing, the 3 things that you can do today to grow your online presence is first, focusing on that content, getting your homepage to at least 1,500 words with the right keywords and phrases that people are actually searching for in your area so that your company gets found. Second, citations. You want to get your name, address, and phone number listed on many online directories to beat out your competition by a landslide. Third, backlinks. Just making sure that you get more relevant sources being linked back to you to show Google that you are the authority. If you implement these strategies today, you can be #1 across Google. Now, I'm sure that you're asking or wondering, well, what now? Well, you really have a few options. If you feel like you cannot handle any more clients every single month and you guys are just swamped, that is absolutely fair. If you can just send me a quick note telling me you watched your video and give me your thoughts about it, I would really appreciate your feedback. On the other hand, if you are ready to grow, you can take this blueprint and you can implement these 3 strategies on your very own. I gave you the exact formula that businesses pay tons of dollars to have, and it's all yours to use to help your company. Now, if you have still found this information valuable, and if you're still one of those business owners to still raise their hands for the most effective route, just go ahead and respond to my email and we'll set up a time to chat. Once again, my name is Seleni, and I look forward to your email. Have a great one.